3.2.S.1 mentions paracetamol, but 3.2.P.1 uses acetaminophen. Same API, different name. So the question is this acceptable across modules or does it trigger a regulatory query? And if this comes up in an interview, how do you justify it? We'll decode the answer at the end of this video. So the answer lies in one section, 3.2.S.1. This is where your API identity is defined, and once defined, it is expected to remain consistent across the entire CTD. So if identity is fixed, the next question is what exactly builds that identity? ICS expects API identity to be defined in three parts. Nomenclature, how you name the substance. Structure, what the molecule actually is. And general properties, how it behaves. Together, these build a complete and traceable API identity in the dossier. If API identity is not consistent, different sections of the dossier start telling slightly different stories about the same molecule, and that is where regulators pause, not immediately but during review, when linking the data across the modules. Because everything is in CTT is connected, like stability, dissolution, impurities, all trace back to one identity. So even a small naming inconsistency can trigger a regulatory question on clarity and traceability. So coming back to our question, is this acceptable to health authorities? Yes, it is acceptable as long as the equivalence is clearly established. INN and USAN both refer to the same API. Paracetamol and acetaminophen are just different naming systems. Now let's see how this is captured in 3.2.S.1. Look at the highlighted text. This is how equivalence is explicitly established in 3.2.S.1.1. So in interview, this is exactly what you are expected to justify. That different names are acceptable only when identity is clearly defined and consistently maintained across the dossier. Next episode 3.2.S.2. This is not just about the process, this is where API variability starts to matter and where risk starts getting defined. Because once you move beyond the identity, you move into control. And we'll also break down the key interview questions around this section. So you don't just need to understand it, you can explain it in interviews. Thanks for watching. We'll continue in the next episode.